Hi, I'm Derek Sankar, the Community and Inclusion Coordinator for Breaking Down Barriers, and welcome to the very first Otherwise, a series of micro-learning sessions exploring everything about equity, diversity and inclusion, and also community collaboration and engagement. Sometimes these presentations will take this format, the PowerPoint format, and other times we'll have invited guests to discuss a topic. I'm hoping that these sessions help to promote discussion and action across the BDB network, and also together they'll create a comprehensive resource for the BDB membership to use as refreshers, internal training and for onboarding new people. Our first topic is to go over exactly what we mean by equity, diversity and inclusion. And it's important to realise that in the EDI world, there isn't one commonly agreed definition for any of these phrases. So we'll start with diversity, as it's the one that we can most agree on. Diversity refers to demographic differences within a group, and we're often considering the diversity of a team, a workforce, or a community. So it's something that we measure. To know if a workforce is diverse, we'll compare it to the diversity picture across the local area or perhaps nationally. In particular, we'll reference protected characteristics. So these in UK law are age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion or belief, sex and sexual orientation. And remember that groups and communities can be diverse. So we can say our centre is used by diverse communities if several different communities, particularly those that have been excluded, use it. A person is not diverse, so we would avoid saying that an Indian woman, for example, is a diverse person. For the same reason, it's best to avoid referring to one particular community as a diverse community. It might be better to use the phrase excluded or marginalised. The semantics are tricky, they can be tricky, but in essence, if we're talking about a mixture of different peoples with different lived experiences, that becomes a diverse community. It can sometimes be tempting to fall into the trap of using the word diverse when actually we're referring to a community that's different from our own, maybe one that we don't interact with often. And let's remember that having a diverse workforce or a service used by diverse communities does not necessarily mean that there's fair treatment for all. Diversity on its own is not the end goal. Equality and equity. Equality often means ensuring that every individual has an equal opportunity to make the most of their lives. Equity recognises that treating everyone equally has its shortcomings. An equity approach emphasises that everyone should not be treated the same, but in accordance to their own needs. So equity is an approach that brings about equality. It recognises that people from marginalised communities can often face more barriers when accessing services, resources and opportunities. So we may need to apply more resources or different but appropriate resources to allow that access. An equity approach says that one size does not fit all, but we tailor our support to the barriers faced by each community or even each individual whenever we can. So we've mentioned that diversity doesn't automatically mean fairness. So we need to also consider inclusion. Inclusion is the extent to which everyone at work, regardless of their background, identity or circumstance, feels valued, accepted and supported to succeed at work. We have to design workplace environments and work cultures to take an equity approach in order to build inclusion. So we ask, how does everyone from volunteers, trustees, staff, clients, the families we support feel valued and safe enough to bring their full selves, their full creativity and experiences to contribute to the organisation? Belonging. You may have come across this term belonging in an EDI context. It's definitely gaining popularity. Belonging can often have an ownership quality to it, in the sense of you belong to me or you belong to the company, and that's certainly not what the intention is here. In an EDI context, belonging is how the individual feels in relation to the workplace, group or community, etc. And it can often be a measure of how effective our EDI is. Workplace or community culture that's based on EDI creates the conditions for an individual to feel belonging, but we certainly can't force any individual to feel that sense of belonging. It reveals how much staff feel able to bring their whole selves to work and freely express their opinion. And by whole selves, I mean, can we feel safe not only to show our real personality, but share our aspirations? Can we share our insecurities, our doubts? We don't ignore differences or discomfort, or the fact that home life can sometimes impact work and vice versa. We aim to normalise how we discuss and talk about all of these things in the workplace. So in summary, there's this great quote by Werner Myers: diversity is being invited to the party, inclusion is being asked to dance. And I've taken the liberty of adding to it to suggest that belonging is perhaps taking your own music to share. Belonging is the idea of co-producing the party, co-producing the workplace. So thank you. Thank you for joining the first ever Otherwise microlearning session, and look out for our next topics. Or if you want, suggest a topic that you'd like us to discuss. And as always, the service is free, but in return, we'd like to know what you thought about it, how we can improve it. If you have any questions or anything that needs clarification, we'd really like to know. So do leave us some feedback or email me directly. My email is on the slide below. And I look forward to seeing you at the next Otherwise microlearning session. Thanks and goodbye.